versus the Leopards. I mean, 1-1 was the final score. We thoroughly enjoyed that game. It had tempers all over.
You know, it was a cracker kind of the game to the essence that no one really thought that DRC will take the game to Morocco.
Yes.
But and again, you can as well as maybe base all those particular demises from the Moroccan side on their technician Regragui.
Yes.
Simply because he withdrew all of the offensive progressivity players that would have taken pressure away from the midfield and the defense. And at that particular time, DRC was bringing in their attacking the likes of Fiston Mayele,
yes,
the likes of Salah, who and again took that advantage took that Moroccan disadvantage to their advantage, and they started attacking fearlessly. But I think all the credits, if you may ask me, to this particular team, I will give to the center defender, which is the Chancel Mbemba, being actually partnered by Inonga.
Yes.
They really did a very good job of neutralizing the likes of
El Nesri,
Unahi, El Nesri, and the traveling Akraf Hakimi.
Yes.
Because those are the kind of the threats we have seen Morocco actually trading in each and every game they have been playing since all the way from World Cup. Even in their first match, they would utilize actually their right flank, yes, utilizing the likes of Ziyech and Hakimi, but that was not the case. You see, Kalulu doing his job there, tried as much as he can to ensure that that line does not become a threat to DRC, and it worked for them. Similarly, at the midfield, we couldn't see the likes of Amrabat. Remember, Amrabat and Hamala, they have been bossing teams that they have been facing around all the way from the World Cup. Belgium, you remember, when the squad of Belgium presented. These two players, they would neutralize that particular midfield, but that was not the case. Now it's a threat and a statement that DRC is sending to the team that will be facing it.
Tanzania.
You should not be underrating this particular team. Remember, in Africa Cup of Nations, DRC is on record of surging up to the semi or quarter final. This would have been actually a record breaking to them if they happen to crash out at the group stages. But and again, yesterday, they have sent missiles outside there. I remember seated somewhere, people who could put their cards on Morocco.
Yes.
They started saying that, oh, even Senegal will now meet their match. If Morocco can meet DRC and DRC torment them like this,
yes,
we should also be looking forward to see Senegal meeting their match in this particular tournament. And that is the beauty of Africa Cup of Nations.
Yes, the beauty of Africa Cup of Nations. So let's quickly run through the results from round 2 of the group stage. Equatorial Guinea got that 4-2 win against Guinea-Bissau. Nigeria got a 1-0 win against Ivory Coast. And then Ghana settling for a 2-2 draw against Egypt. Cape Verde with a 3-0 win against Mozambique. Now, the other matches that were played, that this is in round 2. Senegal got a 3-1 win against Cameroon. Guinea with a 1-0 win against Gambia. Of course, this was on Friday. On Saturday, we had a couple of matches, and Algeria settled for a 2-2 draw against Burkina Faso. Angola 3-2 win against Mauritania. Tunisia settling for a 1-1 draw against Mali. South Africa yesterday 4-0 win against Namibia. DRC settling for a 1-1 draw against Morocco, and Zambia with a 1-1 draw against Tanzania. So, how do the groups look like so far? And Cedric, I want us to take a look at the groups. We begin with Group A. Who's going through? This today will be the final round, and we have all these teams playing. Who's going through from this group? Equatorial Guinea, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast. Who is going through?
You know, Equatorial Guinea has thrown this group in a disarray. In a disarray.
We are coming down to the fixtures for the day. Who's going through?
I still bet Nigeria and Ivory Coast will go through.
Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Let's go to Group B. How they look, the standings look so far. Cape Verde 6 points, Egypt 2, Ghana 1, Mozambique 1. Is Egypt and Ghana moving through, Cedric?
One of them maybe will surge, and that is being lucky enough as the best among the best 4 losers if they happen to win their match today. But I bet Cape Verde has already taken up the position. They are fighting for their second position.
Let's go to Group C. Also very, very interesting. You have Senegal 6 points. They're already through to the next round. Guinea have 4 points. Cameroon 2, and Cameroon 1, and Gambia, they're yet to register a point. Let's move on to Group D. How does Group D look like so far? Remember, it's also a very, very interesting group that we have in Group D, where you have the likes of Angola, Burkina Faso, Algeria, and Mauritania. 4 points between the top 2 teams, and then Algeria 2, Mauritania currently without a point. And then in Group E, this also changed. Things changed yesterday. Mali still 4 points. South Africa moved second with 3. Namibia have 3 points, and Tunisia 4 points. So after this, Group F, also, we had some changes yesterday. DR Congo moved to second. Morocco have 4 points. Zambia 2, and Tanzania 1. Now, we have 4 fixtures on the cards. And Cedric, yes, you wanted to talk about what to expect. 4 fixtures on the cards. Equatorial Guinea versus Ivory Coast. Now, briefly break it down for us. What are you expecting? Because this is Group A and B today.
This game actually is not being played in the pitch. Remember, Ivory Coast now heavily going by how they played their second match. They are banking on their 12th player. Yes. And they need to come out and maybe pick some 3 points in this particular match if at all they want to go ahead and continue representing their country, marking in mind that they are now the host of this particular tournament. But it's a tricky tie to them tonight.
Yes, I want you to comment on one player that probably will be key for this Ivory Coast side, and that is Frank Kessie.
Yeah, you see, he like bossing around that midfield, and now that he plays alongside the likes of Ibrahim Sangare, whom and again is also a holding midfielder and a person who can win balls and try to spread balls, going by how he has been playing for the past two matches. They need to control that particular midfield if at all their aim is to win this particular game. But and again, they need to control that midfield, knowing in mind that they have just immediately in front of them player who can bag in goals like the likes of Kraso. If they utilize Kraso, the Red Star Belgrade player, together with Fofana, they will be able to get goals that will, and again, try to salvage their fate and keep them live in this particular tournament.
Now, the other fixture that we have in Group A, which will be played today, will see Nigeria take on Guinea-Bissau.
You know, Nigeria is breathing hot and cold. Nigeria is neither here nor there. If you go even about that penalty saved their face.
Yes.
But you might be so surprised if they drop the ball today. It's not a team that you can bank on. It's not a team that is well-oiled like the Nigeria we have associated with. But they need to work as a unit. Defend as a block, attack as a block.
Pressure is on one man, Victor Osimhen.
Because he has not been giving them goals that one would think, given that he came to this tournament after having commanded Napoli to successful season last season.
Yes.
And again, his form has been deepening time after time.
Yes.
Coming to this particular game, I know that too much pressure. And that's where the tactical approach should actually be playing at the technical bench. You remember what we saw against DRC? Cedric Bakambu coming on bench and Maele coming in. What happened? The morale boost, because now this player who comes has got nothing to lose. There's no pressure, and they know how to play. If Osimhen does not click for the first 45 minutes, and if they are listening to me, they need to pull him out and bring in somebody who can really lighten up the. Because remember, a form is not dictated in a day.
Yes.
A form is something that you gain over time. If you are low completely throughout the entire tournament. Let them not push Osimhen to that. If they continue over relying on him, then Nigeria will leave this tournament miserably.
Yes. Now, that is all about Group A. Group B, we have 2 fixtures. Mozambique are taking on Ghana. Ghana got a 2-2 draw against Egypt in their last fixture. It's going to be very, very interesting. And remember, Mozambique have not yet won, but they have a point in this group. And for the Black Stars, all eyes again will be on Mohamed Kudus. We saw what he did against Egypt. What are you expecting from him today?
It is a must-win for the Black Stars. A must-win, but they should also be banking on Kudus. Remember, Kudus was coming in as in this tournament for the first match.
Yes.
And as it has always been working out, somebody who is really trading for the first, you cannot. He become the unknown marker. You don't know how he play. Currently, all teams that are meeting the Black Stars, they know very well that you need to really protect and try to utilize space around Kudus so that you deny him a chance to move around with the ball, because he's so little when given space to utilize. And I think that also can play an advantage to the Blacks. We have the likes of Ayu, who can really utilize that advantage. If 2-3 players really focus on Kudus, And Semenyo, exactly. If 2-3 players focus on Kudus, Semenyo and the likes of Ayu, they can utilize that space and try to go and maybe give the Black Stars. But it's a must win for them.
Yesterday we were speaking about Ghana, and you said that they have to work on the defense.
Literally, that's where they have been getting all these demises that they are facing in this particular. Remember, they are scoring.
Yes.
And when you score and you look at the behind, it does not have any reason for you to go and even win you any tournament. And if you go by actually the philosophy of soccer, we all say that defense wins you tournaments. If your defense is that so weak, like what we are saying, they are scoring, they are playing good soccer. Their second match actually was really taking everyone away from their seat, but the defense is leaking, even for them. And at some point, rumors has it they almost fought because of them conceding silly goals at the back. That is something that they need to work on, and maybe
Salisu will be up to the game. Now, the other match that will be played today, we'll see Egypt take on Cape Verde. Cape Verde have already qualified to the next round of the competition. What are you expecting from an Egypt side without Mo Salah? This man will be missing. How big of of a miss will that be for Egypt not to have Mo Salah tonight?
There are two sides of the coin that might play to this. One of the side is Cape Verde having qualified, it's an advantage to Egypt. Remember, Cape Verde can decide maybe to rest some of their little players and they try actually to bring bench warmers into this particular, which is an advantage to Egypt. Another side also, which is an advantage to this particular team, is that they focus now on one linchman in that particular team. Will no longer be there. Everyone can now become a lynch player into that particular team, and that gives a team advantage because now everyone will be surging and trying to win that glory for the nation. Remember, Mustafa Mohamed has been scoring even when Salah is on the pitch, but right now he will be playing alone in that particular pitch. The likes of
pressure will be
in that particular team, and these are the players that we want to see them rising to occasion and taking Egypt back to where it's supposed to be in the absence of Salah. Elneny at the midfield, they need to do all whatever they're destroying, but the only advantage they have against any other team in this particular team is that they are playing
a team that has already qualified.
And that we all know that at any given point, even if Cape Verde starts with their first 11, at any given point they will be resting there first 11 for the next round.
Well, thanks a lot, Cedric, for giving us insights on what to expect tonight. 4 matches on the cards. We have Nigeria taking on Guinea-Bissau. Equatorial Guinea will be in action against the host, that is Ivory Coast. Mozambique will be taking on Ghana as Cape Verde take on Egypt. And that is where we wrap it up here on Inside Sports. My name is Robinson Okenya. Have a good afternoon.